Hey party people, this is Zach from visionswell.com, products and principles for a simple serene life. And today I have 3 EDC flashlights to go over with you from a company called Warsun. As I've mentioned before, I think light sources are a super important part of my EDC and my travel kit, so I always like to have at least 1 flashlight with me and ideally 2 in case one of them runs out of batteries. So today I wanted to take a look at these 3 flashlights that are great for EDC, outdoor use, camping, working, all kinds of things where you'd be hanging out and you might need a light source. We have the Warsun LED Headlamp, the Warsun T7 Flat Flashlight, and the Warsun LED Worklight. So yeah, let's go over each of these flashlights individually, their feature set, and you can decide for yourself if the price, the value, and its use cases are useful for you in your EDC. First up, we have the Warsun LED Headlamp. This is a great little headlamp. It retails for $16.99 US. It has an 800 lumen output that can go up to 200 meters, which is a really nice range. It has 5 light modes, it's water resistant, and it also has a hand wave sensor so that it can turn on without pressing the button. So if you look at the outside of this headlamp, you see you have 2 big bulbs here, as well as this floodlight that clips up on the top here and flips open, and that provides a big floodlight. You also have the ability to tilt this headlamp so that when you're wearing it, you can get this beam of light anywhere you may need it to light your path if you're walking in the woods while you're camping, if you're walking down a dark beach, anything you might need. On the right side of the headlamp, you have a power button and also the toggle button for the hand wave mode so that you can activate it with a hand wave or motion. And then on the back, if you flip it down, you have a little USB-C charging port. And this charging port is great because most people have USB-C devices, so you'd easily be able to charge this or hook it up to a backup battery to charge it. It has a nice little clip. It's held on by plastic here, so this will sit at the front of your head. It has some aeration. It has the ability, like I mentioned, to move this around to where you may need the light beam to go. And it's a really nice overall package here. You also have a nice little head strap here that's fully adjustable. It's elastic, it feels good on my head, and you can fit a variety of different head size types because of how adjustable this is. Then, if you hit the power button on the side, you can cycle through the light modes. This first light mode is just the front beams. The second one is just this LED floodlight on the top here, and then you can also flip it up if you want that to be, spreading a big beam of light in front of you. Clip that back down, hit the power button again. Then the next mode is the ability to have both these beams as well as the LED at the same time. And this mode will probably use the battery the quickest because it's the most amount of light, but this is if you have the need for a ton of amount of light. When you need to light up a larger area, like the 200 meters, like I said, you can get the spread light from the top LED as well as the directional light of the front. So I think that's a really nice feature. If you click it again, then the last 2 modes are just a red light. That's an indicator light if you needed it as a bike light or as something to make yourself more visible. Then if you need it to be even more visible or kind of have emergency lights, you can also click it again to have emergency lights that blink so that if you're using this as a bike light, if it's on the handlebars of your bike, if it's on your backpack or sling, if you're walking around at night on a dark road, you have the ability to make yourself more visible with a blinking red light. So I think that's a super useful feature too. So then if we go back to this original mode where it is just the 2 beams in the front, I can demonstrate the hand wave. So this little toggle button on the back, you press, and then if you wave something in front of it, you can see that the light turns on. And that's a really nice mode to have if you need to go hands-free when you're walking around camping, you're carrying a bunch of stuff, you don't have the ability to touch your headlamp. I think for under $20, this is an absolutely amazing headlamp. It's super high quality, it's water resistant, it has a 200 meter range, it has all those different light modes, it's really bright, and it also has this floodlight on the top. And then the hand wave mode is just an extra bonus. So I think if you're in the market for a headlamp and you don't want to spend a ton of money, the Warsun LED headlamp is a great choice. You could pick this one up on Amazon, that's where I got it from, and I'll put a link in the description below if you're interested. Next up, I have the Warsun T7 Flat Flashlight. This is a great little low profile flashlight. See how thin it is? It's super thin. It could fit in any kind of backpack, sling bag, in your pocket, in your back pocket. It has a nice little clip on the back if you want to pocket carry it or clip it to the outside of a bag or some MOLLE webbing. It has a magnetic base at the bottom so that if you're fixing cars or you need to put it somewhere where you're working on a PC or something, you could magnetically stick it to a piece of metal and then have this light shining down on you so that you don't have to hold it with another hand. It retails for $14.99 US. It has 6 lighting modes. It goes up to 675 lumens with up to a 50-meter range. So that's really good for personal use for an EDC flashlight. Like I mentioned, it has a clip on the back. It has about a 12-hour battery life. It has a charging indicator as well as the magnetic base. And it's really simple in operation. So you have the USB-C charging port on this side. So it's nice to have a way to charge this via USB-C. And then the other side just has a power button that allows you to cycle through the modes. So if you click it once, the first mode is just this top flashlight, and this is a good directional beam. And then if you click it again, it switches to this little panel on the front that has a larger LED. And then this has multiple lighting modes. So there's 2, there's 3. And then the last mode is this flashing red and blue light. So this is great as a bike light, or if you need a signal light, if you're walking alone in the dark at night and you don't want to get hit by a car or something. You have the ability to put this outside of your car if you're changing a flat tire. And there's just a lot of different use cases that you could have for this emergency light, so I really like that it's included. And I would say overall that other than my keychain flashlight, this is probably going to be my most pocketable flashlight. I intend to carry this around with me in either my back pocket or my side pocket. And I think just the size of it and how simple it is to use, how useful, it's USB-C chargeable, and it's just a really great little EDC flashlight that takes up almost no space. It's super lightweight, super thin. And I think it can fit in a variety of pouches, pockets, sling bags, backpacks, throw it in your car, whatever you might need. And it's great to have this little flashlight on hand for when you need a light source. And then last up, we have the Warsun LED Worklight. This retails for $16.99. Again, it's under that $20 price point, so it's a lot of value. It goes up to 500 lumens. It has 6 lighting modes. It's got a battery indicator for charging. It has a nice clip on the back so that if you needed to clip this to a bag, clip it in your pocket, you have a clip there. You also have this little rotating hook on the back so that if you needed to use this in a tent to hang it as a lantern, if you needed to hang it in a car, hang it in your garage or workshop, you have a way to do that. And then you also have this nice little stand on the bottom. So if you wanted to use this as a true work light, put it on a table, put it on a workbench, put it in the corner of a room that you need to light up or any kind of space that you need lighting when you're working, you have that ability too. So I think that's really nice. You also have a magnetic base at the bottom so that if you're doing work on something metal, you can stick it up and have kind of a hands-free mode. So you have a ton of different options to hang this and stand this up to use it as a true work light. I also think the use case for this would be if you're camping, because if you want to put this on a picnic table, put this in the middle of where you're sitting in the tent, or in a car, if you're car camping, you have this little light that you can use as a lantern, and it provides a lot of omnidirectional light so that you have a small light source to read by, to talk by, to play games, and you can just light up your environment super easily with this little work light. If you turn it to the back here, you can see the USB-C charging port is under this little flap here. Then if you hit the power button once, you get a light on top. And that's a really nice directional light if you want to use it more as like a flashlight. And then you can cycle through the different lumen levels on the top. And then if you keep clicking, you get this larger omnidirectional light on the front. And this gives you a large area to light up and all the use cases I mentioned earlier as far as like a reading light, a work light, things like that. If you keep clicking, this also has different lumen levels. Then if you double click it, you can also activate these emergency lights similar to the T7. So again, this would be useful if you're changing a tire, if you need to use this as a bike light or on a backpack, or you just need to carry this when you're walking around a dark road at night so that cars can see you. I think it's great to have an emergency light, and that always comes in handy when you're out in a dark area. Then the last thing to mention is, if you hold in the power button, you can activate this infrared light. So you might not be able to see it too well. I have it on the pillow now it's on Snorlax. But if you need an infrared light or a laser pointer or something like that, you have that as well. And that can always be useful. So it's nice to have that mode on this flashlight as well. So with all the use cases I mentioned, as far as this being only $16.99, you can use it as a work light, a lantern, a flashlight, a laser pointer, an emergency awareness light if you're doing something where you're in a dark area and you're worried about cars or people passing by. There's a ton of different use cases for the Warsun LED Worklight, and for under $20, It's under $17. That's an amazing value. And I like how simple its operation is. It's USB-C rechargeable. It has all these clips and stands so that you can wear it or use it in a variety of different ways. I highly suggest if you need something like this, or even if you just need this for your kids, for their camping trips or for their sleepovers, you have a great light here to use that's super cheap and super functional. So I highly suggest picking up one of these as well. So in summary, these 3 flashlights from Warsun, the LED headlamp, the T7 Flat Flashlight, and the LED Worklight are a couple of amazing value EDC flashlights that you can pick up for under $20 a piece. They're useful in a number of different situations. They're high quality build, they have a ton of features, and they're super simple to use. I would highly suggest any 3 of these flashlights if you're looking for something for your EDC kit, or if you need something for a camping set, something to throw in your car or throw in your garage or workshop. You have a ton of different options here. I'm definitely going to be using all 3 of these in the use cases that I mentioned, but I feel like the T7 will be the one I get the most use out of on an everyday basis because I'm definitely going to start carrying this in my pocket. In addition to my keychain flashlight, I think that this is a great little flashlight to have on hand as a backup. It's super small. It's great for travel. So this will probably be my go-to. And then these other 2 will be when I'm going on a camping trip or just to throw in my car to have emergency light backups. So I highly suggest you pick up one or all of these and let me know in the comments below what you think of these flashlights, if you have any other flashlight brands you would recommend, and I'd love to start a dialogue. Thank you as always for watching, and please like, comment, and subscribe if these videos are of interest to you because it really helps the channel out. And with all that being said, I will definitely see you in the next video. Take care.